Good morning, everyone. We're here for another poem with Meg today. She'll be joining us any moment. What are you all reading? That's what I always want to know. I just finished Tastes Like War. Highly recommend. It's a memoir about a mother-daughter relationship through the lens of food and mental illness. Two of my favorites. Hi, Meg. How you
Hey,
doing?
how are you, Allison?
I'm good. I'm here. I always feel a bit of relief when the Instagram live goes as planned.
It's always
So
like, oh my God, I see you,
yeah,
you see me.
yeah,
Yay.
it's a little bit of magic still. So I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, actually. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I was looking forward to this, of course. And then I just was listening to the point of why we're all supposed to be here is for joy. So I just feel like that's a wonderful way to start my day.
That is a wonderful way. I agree. Um, is there anything else you want to say before you begin, or do you just
No, but my
want
aunt
to?
is here, Eileen Holt, and this is
Oh,
all about where we're from. So I hope she enjoys it too. Thank you for showing up. It is really a true dedication to the
mhm,
beauty that is my
mhm.
family and those who have poured into me so that I can pour into others. So I love that she's there.
That's really lovely. I just watched Encanto last night. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's an animated film, and it's very much about family and what they pour into you and what you can create with all of that love. And so, anyway, just the way you were talking about your family made me think of it. I cried as I do. It was beautiful.
Oh my God, I have to see it then. It sounds
It's
like
really, it's
that.
really lovely. Yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
highly recommend it.
Well, I can't wait to talk to you about all the wonderful things you do with
Oh,
the world of That's my turn next, but I gotta get my.
okay. Well, anytime you're ready, Mike.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity, Allison. This is
Sure.
where I'm from. I'm from the Italian American dreamer. To be seen and appreciated for our culture's contributions. The story of my family explored and written about after spending hours in a closet with precious memories and photos, cherishing the stories of those pioneers who came before me, celebrating our roots and adding on to a beautiful legacy. I'm from magical pixie dust and an imagination that knew no bounds. From hours spent creating dresses and stories around my Barbies and trying my luck at the game of life. I'm from the suburbs of Altamont Springs, walking distance away from a big park with tennis courts where we spent hours playing and pretending we were Charlie's Angels after school. From a beautiful 5-bedroom home filled with loud conversations and lots of love. I'm from the sweet scent of roses and the magic of butterflies, blossoming and bursting with incredible colors, flying free, proud of my many transformations. Like I said, I'm from an Italian American family of passionate people and hard workers. Education and service were values, but love and support kept us tied to each other. From two young lovers, Mary Jo and Michael, the second generation Italian Americans who grew up in New York City that were courageous as they set out to create their own story in Florida away from their families. From an expectation of excellence and an ethos of perfection passed down for each child to accomplish great things and make the family proud. From politicians, lawyers, judges, doctors, teachers, educators, requiring nothing less than a strong work ethic, each doing their part to serve. But from passionate, faithful people and hard workers who set out to make a difference in this world for their children and their communities. From people who set out to create something beautiful together. I'm from intelligent, thoughtful, and generous members of my family who paved the way for real possibilities of success and realization of our own dreams. From everything will be okay when things go awry, to don't disappoint or bring shame to your family, holding still to our greatest potential. I'm from a Catholic family who believes spirituality and love were the cornerstones of life, more important than dogma, from people who did not follow and with a whole lot of curiosity and critical thinking questioned everything. I'm from Florida, but come from Naples and Sicily and other parts of Italy by way of New York, where many want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and dreams come to life. From that traditional Italian family meals on Sunday after church of spaghetti and marinara sauce, salad bathed, sometimes drowned, in olive oil and vinegar, and celebrated birthdays with Carvel cake. And at dinner table, as it around a campfire, we gathered together as master storytellers, passing on lifetimes of tradition and hope. I come from movies, the pictures that can change the world, stepping into a theater and immersing myself in a story come to life. But most of all, I'm made from dreamers and a realized dream to my parents. And I get to continue to be ready, realizing my own dreams as I risk and take leaps of faith, becoming a master storyteller, sharing inspiration with whomever wishes to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was getting a little weepy as I was talking. I was like, wow, I'm from, oh my God. Yeah. It's so
Well, you have a lot of gratitude for where you're from, and it's really emotional. I mean, it's wonderful. Not all of us feel, the same. So, I mean, it's lovely. It seems like you came from a loving, supportive family, and that's
I
a
will
special
tell you
thing.
this, coming on the other side of having written a memoir, I've been able to heal a lot of the wounds that may have come up had I spoken at a different time in my life. I do believe that the beautiful process of discovery from setting, your life to a page is you get to see what you really are, in fact, grateful for. And no blame, there's no shame at this point, because it is what it is and you are where you are. And I think I love this whole process, and this is why I wanted to do it, because really understanding where you're coming from really makes that direction of where you're going that much more exciting, and coming to terms a lot with that. So bravo to you for starting this, because I think it's really going to change the people who show up to do it, and maybe perhaps get people who are listening interested in starting that process for themselves. So thank you, Alyson.
Oh, thank you for being a part of it. I am so inspired each time I hear one, and I was the first time I did hear them, because it tells you so much about someone in a short time. And I agree with you. When you write it within the course of your life, you'd write it very differently. And I think also the part of your life you write it about, and it's funny. I was just thinking about how writing memoir, because I just finished a memoir I really enjoyed it. There is a piece of it feels like reclamation. You're telling your story, and you're owning it, and it's very empowering. For me, it has been the writing I've done.
That's a great word, reclamation. You reclaim your narrative, which is really powerful. No one tells you who you are. You get to determine that story and that path and how you lived it. Really proud, perhaps, of all those failures, maybe you call them, but not stopping there and keep going, which, is a beautiful gift of writing. If you're ever to step out of your comfort zone and share the vulnerability of your story with other people. I mean, Alyson, you do it in a different art. You do it in the visual arts, which I think is fantastic too, because there's so many gifts that everyone comes to the table with, showing up as. And that's what's exciting, is that we're all so different, and that we all have beautiful talents that are different. That makes this world such a beautiful, wonderful quilt of different colors. So it's lovely. I love it. That's really awesome.
It's true. And I think in my early life, I spent too much energy. Really, any energy is too much. But, thinking, oh, I've got to be like that over there. I need to be like that over there, as opposed to understanding that what I had, whatever it was, is a strength. It's what I have. It's not trying to fit into someone else's version of yourself. And writing has helped me in that way too. Like, these are my memories of my experiences and my feelings, and they're valid. So,
and something that's really amazing to me that, has been important, really important throughout my growing up years, and even, coming of age as, a 50 something now, is, I see it more as those colorful parts of my life that I want to get curious around and learn more about, while the people in my life who can tell those stories are still here to do that. And it's really kind of like a point in time where the opportunity is there, and I can either take it or not. But generally, I think that, saying yes to those opportunities is really it's like walking into, and this is kind of the visual that comes up, Willy Wonka's, fabulous, world of beautiful, delectable delights as a kid. Just your eyes get big. It's kind of like looking into your life and that whole wonderful, smorgasbord of learning who these people are and the beauty that is them. And I just get excited around that. I think that is one of the gifts you've given me from doing this. So thank you.
Yeah, everyone has a story, even those people we're related to who maybe we don't know or didn't think they, didn't feel like sharing it or didn't. Yeah, I love hearing, especially really specific, like you talking about Barbies or Charlie's Angels. Of course, that really brings back both of those because I was an enormous fan of both Barbies and Charlie's Angels,
Yeah.
which is funny because they're, not perceived as being very feminist, but I was I was into them and I'm a feminist now. So, but I thought they were really empowering. I thought those women doing those things was, I mean, to me, like the sex appeal part was just, who cares?
Yeah.
Like they're solving crimes, they're getting the bad guys. I'm in. I want
Yeah.
to be like them.
They're making a difference in the world. And I remember like my sisters and I and our next door neighbor, we used to get on our bicycles after school every day as if we were on some kind of mission to like figure it out. It was like, and we would ride up and down the streets. And I laughed because I don't think my kids will ever have that, but they can always have the stories that I share with them, right? They can always have that. So they're going to have different wonderful experiences, I hope, but yes, that we both can speak that language because we watched Charlie's Angels and we got to fight over who got to be, Jackie, Kelly, all of the best.
I always wanted to be Sabrina because I thought she was the smart one. So I was like, I want to be the smart one.
She was the smart one. She was definitely the smart
one. Yeah, and Suzanne just said our bicycles were our freedom, and there was jumping on your bicycle, and I mean we would just disappear. Kids, right? I mean, most kids. I live in an urban area. I live in Los Angeles. They can't just disappear for the day. If they did, I would be like, oh, is everything okay? We would just. I have friends who are like, I left after breakfast and came home at dinner, and that was totally acceptable and normal.
It's a totally different lifetime. So when you're watching, like what's coming up for me right now is Stranger Things.
Yeah, totally.
Which is kind of a dystopic experience. But the bottom line is that they would get on their bike riding up and down the streets, and they would have their adventures together as kids. That's not the story my children have. That's definitely a different time and place. But the fact is that it happened. It did happen, and when we watch those movies, it brings those memories back to life. And the greatest storytellers, they embed different moments that'll like trigger those memories, like songs or anything like that, to all of us. Which, what a gift, to keep it going and having us, really kind of smile. Barbie dolls. I used to take Barbie dolls, and I used to take the linens of my mother's closet, cut them up and make dresses. I was sure that I could make the most glamorous thing for these kids and get yelled at afterwards because, of course, I ruined a lot of sheets. But the bottom line is that your imagination takes flight, however that looks, and the timeliness or like the point in time is kind of captured in that photo in our minds that we can relate to each other. And very exciting. I don't know. I love when a storyteller can take me to a place either visually or with their words that I feel like I'm there and experiencing it for the first time, or perhaps a memory gets triggered that, oh my God, that's right. That's where my life was, where I'm from. That's the story. That's wonderful.
I love that too. And in every poem that has been shared here, there is something like that, know, and not everyone is exactly my age, and from where I'm from. So there are things that transcend. I'm hoping to get like some younger people on here because I would really love to hear their, like in their 20s, their reflections and thoughts of, because my thoughts of, yeah, if you're watching, my reflections and thoughts about where I was from were different when I was in my 20s than they are now. And so I just, it's good to have a wish list. And the more diverse age people, I think it's fun because you see what you share and what you can learn from one another.
That is right there. What you just said is the conversation opens up to engage anyone from different times or aspects or where they are in their life, because we're all better off for it when the conversation continues. So no matter, in my day or whatever,
Mm-hmm,
ridiculous thing to shame
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
someone actually doing what I'm doing. But the reality is that you have a different experience. Clearly, you're growing up in a different time. So, okay, what does that look like to you? And how can we both learn from that conversation, which you're talking about, which I cannot wait to hear any 20 somethings out there joining her, because that
You're
would be so
welcome.
cool. Not
Yes,
my
you're.
children. They're not allowed.
Um, okay, any other last thoughts? The
No,
time flew by quickly.
it
I'm not
did. And I
surprised.
just want to say thank you again. This is
Oh,
really
thank you.
awesome. I think everyone should take a moment of their life to write a poem about where they're from and really be proud of whatever it looks like, whether they were
Mm-hmm.
painful memories or really, really happy ones, because they're who you are and you get to come to the beauty of your life no matter how it's actually happened. And from that point, there's a lot of joy to be had. So thank you, Alyson. You are wonderful. And I'm so
Yeah.
happy to meet you in
Thank you.
this setting.
Likewise. We'll talk again soon.
Very good. Very
Yes.
good. All
Okay.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.